Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today I want to preempt our usual intro for the veterans. I want to thank the veterans for the service they provided, for risking their lives on battlefields and dying for honor, dying for honor, even though sometimes they are used by rich politicians and corporations on the battlefield for greed. They fight for honor, and they're out there trying to defend the honor of their country. So we can't blame them for the corporate greed and corruption that sends them to battle oftentimes. But we still today thank them for risking their lives. We thank them for putting their lives and limb on the line for the honor of their country. Thank you. So good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It is Veterans Day. It's Friday, November 10th, and I hope you're all safe and healthy. I hope you're all protected today, and that the needs of you and your family are being met today. Today, I want to discuss a couple things. There's always talk, and it will never go away in Knicks Nation about trades. It's been that way from the time the Knicks were winning championships, even during the time of having Clive Frazier and Willis Reed and Jerry Lucas. And a lot of those guys came as a result of trades. Jerry Lucas came as a trade. Dave DeBusschere came as a trade. The core pieces that the Knicks drafted at that time were Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Bill Bradley, Dean Meminger. These guys they drafted and developed themselves. And a couple of the pieces they had developed, Walt Bellamy, for example, was traded and they gave the job to Willis Reed. So then, of course, you had Mike Reardon, who was traded, and they ended up getting Earl of Pearl. So you do have the same situations now, even though now it's on steroids. With in the industry and the information age in which we live, it's on steroids right now. So you have always trade talk. Sometimes the best moves, though, are the ones not made. Okay, over the years, well, let me put it this way: basketball is sport. Sports are a subset of entertainment. Sports are entertainment. The competition is entertainment. Okay, so we're all being entertained by sports, and in this case, by NBA basketball. Part of the entertainment is enjoying what you're watching, right? So you're enjoying what you're watching. You're enjoying the beauty and the art of it, of course, with the competition of it. So you can watch an NBA team or an NBA player, and whether they're winning or losing, you like to watch them. For example, right now everybody's watching Victor Wembanyama because he's 7'4". He's an amazing skill set. He's a young kid. And everybody is being entertained by watching him. Okay, so you can watch players, you can watch, especially in the NBA, and they sell tickets, and the NBA is a star-driven league for that purpose, to highlight players that people will want to come pay to see. Okay, so over the years, you see a lot of great, talented athletes, right? And you love watching them do what they do on the hardwood floor. And that's cool. That's part of the game. That's part of sports. But once you've been around a while and you've been a fan of a team like the Knicks, what you want is you want your team to win. So now it's more than just watching for entertainment purposes. You want your team to win. Okay, you want to see your team hold the championship trophy. Okay, that's the ultimate entertainment for any sports franchise, right? For any fan base. So over many years of watching many teams hoist the championship trophy, including the Knicks, what myself have learned is there's certain patterns. Now, it's not 100%. Nothing in sports is generally 100%. But what you're looking for is patterns that have strong commonalities. For example, oftentimes championship teams are built from within. They're built from development. They're built from strong management. They're built from proper moves. And of course, to win a championship, you need a little bit of fortune to just come your way. Ball got to bounce your way a little bit, like it did with Toronto. It was a couple of bounces at the rim, And it could have been Philadelphia in the finals that year. Okay. But Kawhi Leonard, that last second shot, couple of bounces at the rim, and it was Toronto. See? So you need a little bit of stuff like that to happen. But you got to have the management, you got to have the development staff, you got to have all that got to be put together to put you in the best chance to win the championship. So watching many championship teams, you begin to see some commonalities, and I'm always mentioning them. For example, the San Antonio Spurs, the Miami Heats of the world that have won multiple championships in our era. We see strong management. We see consistent management. We see they're not replacing key pieces in the management team. They're keeping them together, they're working together, and they're learning to become one in terms of the goal, in terms of what they're looking for, in terms of the style of player, the type of talent they're looking for. And so, like you have a San Antonio, and I was talking to one of the subscribers about this. We was talking about how I said that Spo is, to me, the greatest coach of all time. And he asked, why do you say Spo is the greatest coach of all time? And one of the reasons I gave was the way he won his 5 championships. Now, everybody knew Tim Duncan was going to be a number 1 pick. There was no doubt. And San Antonio had won 17 games the year before and the right to earn the number 1 pick that year, which they took with Tim Duncan. That was a no-brainer. Anybody would have taken him. But nobody knew about Parker. Nobody knew about him. He was 19 years old and he was from France, soft player country. And nobody knew about him. He became Pop's choice, starting point guard at age 19. Nobody knew about Manu Ginobili. It looked like he was playing out of control all the time, left-handed. Didn't know he could fit in the team concept. Nobody really knew about him, but he became a championship piece. Nobody knew about Kawhi Leonard at San Diego State. Nobody was paying attention to him. Okay. Pop got a hold of him. He becomes Defensive Player of the Year. He becomes playoff MVP. And so in the system that Pop developed, within him and R.C. Buford being the core of the management in terms of Predator basketball operations, GM, and coach, they were on the same page. They knew what they were looking for in the players that fit Pop's system. They knew how to build within that system. They weren't in a hurry. They took their time and they built it the right way. And they won 5 championships. Okay? Miami, same thing. You get Pat Riley. He first is the coach, but then he steps down from being coach and puts Eric Spoelstra as the coach. And he becomes president of basketball operations and general manager. Then they start to look for the type of players that they want in their culture, in their system. Eric Spoelstra and Pop have this in common. Both of them have coached for their teams for more than 10 or 15 years. I could say 15 for both of them. Okay, so there's a consistency, there's a culture, there's a development system in place. Okay, in New York, they're doing the same thing, but the difference is New York is not San Antonio and Miami in the sense that the media is crazy. They're always looking for quick fixes and quick answers. And of course, the fan base in large part follows the same thing, which at the beginning of Dolan's era as the owner, he was falling into the trap of trying to make quick, decisive, quick moves, big splashy moves, and it obviously was not working. It was not working. And the Knicks became a laughingstock because there was no culture. There was no development. A coach couldn't last in New York more than 3 years. Okay. First, the fans had gotten brainwashed into trying to call for everybody's firing from day one. Okay. And same with Tibbs. But the difference now is that Dolan has given Leon Rose the full keys. He had really decided to do that with Phil Jackson. He wanted to leave the keys with somebody. He realized that. He picked the wrong guy with Jackson at first, and eventually he settles on Leon Rose. And now he's given Leon Rose the keys and carte blanche to run the basketball operations the way he wants to run it. Leon Rose picks a tremendous management team. He picks one of the greatest talent scouts in the NBA in Walt Perrin. He picks Brock Aller as his capologist. He picks Tom Thibodeau as his coach. He picks Johnny Bryant. He picks Mike Woodson. He puts together a team for each. And then they had to learn to get on the same page. No group is on the same page from day one, but they learn to get on the same. Especially this is difficult in New York because of the impatience of the fan base and impatience of the media. That is why it was real important, in my view, that Leon ignore the media and ignore the fan base and do what he knows needs to be done to create a culture of a San Antonio or a Miami. That it was going to take a good 5 years to get that built. And he ignored, and people were going crazy, still are. You know, we don't like that he doesn't give us information. Well, he doesn't give you information because you'll just interfere with what he's trying to do, misjudge what he's trying to do, which is why you get some platforms reporting rumors about the Knicks and people making judgment based on the rumors that aren't true. Okay? And so that's why I'm glad Leon and crew keeps the inner sanctum tight. The Don doesn't let y'all know what's going on because he don't want y'all interfering with what he's trying to do, and he knows what he's doing. So now you get a Mitchell Robinson. You drafted him in the second round. And I told y'all from the beginning, he was a core piece of a championship team. And I still believe that. See, what happens is once a guy wins a chip, you can call him a championship piece for sure because he's already won a championship, right? But you got to have some vision. It takes some vision to see it before it happens. Okay? It takes some vision. And any championship organization that wins a chip has vision. And the fan base generally is short-sighted. And the media is definitely short-sighted. Definitely short-sighted. And so you can't follow short-sighted people. And you look into a long-term vision. Okay? So Mitch Rob was a championship piece when he showed up. He just needed to be developed. Okay? And that's another thing. Because of the impatience in Knicks Nation and in the media, development never took place. Most of y'all don't know what development looks like. And that's why when you're looking at a Mitchell Robinson, you're calling for him to be traded for a Miles Turner. Because you don't know what he's going to be because you can't see the vision of what he's going to become. Okay? We're talking about Quentin Grimes also. I'm telling you, this guy is a 3-level scorer, a high-level defender, the makings of an all-star. But some can't see it. Okay? Because you're not looking ahead at what he can become. R.J. Barrett, we talked about him becoming Jimmy Butler 2.0 in his rookie year, and people were laughing. Are you crazy? He'll never be Jimmy Butler because they're comparing an accomplished, finished product in Jimmy Butler to a rookie R.J. Barrett. Now, it took 5 years, but here he is at age 23, and he is Jimmy Butler 2.0. And I thought even better because he's going to have a better three-point shot, which he does. Okay, so there's a vision that has to happen when you're looking to build a championship organization. Mitchell Robinson is a championship piece. Now, they wanted to trade a lot of assets for Donovan Mitchell, a superstar. Now, the object, when you're in the mode of getting a championship, the object is to get, if you're going to get a superstar, that's going to be a piece. Usually, if you do it the right way, it's the final piece to get you over the top. Which is why you see Boston went and got Kristaps Porzingis. They went and got Jrue Holiday. They're looking for those two guys to be final pieces to get them over the top. I don't happen to think they're going to get it done. And I mentioned that because of the fact that you've given up a Marcus Smart, who in my view is a championship piece. Not that these two guys can't be, but I think you made a lateral move instead of a move forward. So again, with the Knicks, when you're talking about a Donovan Mitchell, you're hoping that he would be that final piece to go with what you have to get you over the top. But the Knicks, as Scott Perry recently said, made the correct decision. And looking at him, he had Gobert on his team. And they couldn't get it done. Gobert is a leading rebounder, leading defensive player of the year. You had him. And you had a lot of other pieces around them. And they couldn't get it done. So what makes you think he would get it done with the Knicks? And so for what Danny Ainge, the Ripper, was asking for us to clean our cupboards to get this guy that will bring us to a depleted team that would not get us over the top if we had our full contingent, that's why they decided against it. Okay? So you have to make a vision decision, not trying to rhyme, but I did, between A piece that's going to cost you so much that it will not get you over the top. A piece that even if you had your full contingent couldn't get you over the top versus a piece that just that final piece that gets you there. Now, generally speaking, the final piece to get you there will show up as a free agent. You wouldn't have to trade for him because he's going to look at your squad and say, I'm your final piece. And then he wants to come there. Okay. That was kind of the Kristaps Porzingis situation. I felt like, again, they gave up Marcus Smart. I wouldn't have liked to do that, but that's what their decision. Okay. Versus if he came to New York as an unrestricted free agent, we wouldn't have to give up anything. But Evan Fournier, some picks, some money, because he was coming, right? But that's another story. You want the guy to come to you because he's going to be your final piece. And that means he's going to blend with the pieces you already have. You may give up something for sure, but you don't want to give up too much. Like Danny Ainge was asking for the world. Okay. And Cleveland will too. You know, you got your pieces. Mitchell Robinson's a championship piece. RJ Barrett's a championship piece. And I believe now Julius Randle's become, I know it's all the hatred in New York. And listen, I call it as I see it. Some of y'all get stuck on old wounds instead of moving forward. This ain't the same Julius that came to New York 3 years ago. This is a different one. Yes, he still has some bad attitude, but he has accomplished as a player. He has been developed into an all-NBA player. He is now a serious talent in the NBA with all his faults. Okay? He's still a top 15 player because he was all-NBA last year. So, you have a piece with him. Grimes is a championship piece. Brunson is a proven champion piece in my view because he's won on every level. Okay, he's won on every level. Now it's time for the pro level. And we happen to have him at the time in his prime where he can get this done. Quickly's a championship piece. Hart's a championship piece. Dante's a championship piece. That's why I like this team. So right now, there should be no trades. No trades this whole season. Except Evan Fournier. And I'm not even in a hurry to trade him. See, Evan Fournier, we could just let him rot on the bench. He's going to get his $19 million. If he wants to leave, let him get bought out. He's not a championship piece. He's proven it over his 10 years in the league. He's not a championship piece. And Tibbs knows it, which is why he's not playing. Everybody else blends in as a championship. See? So now, what am I saying? This team that we now have with Mitchell Robinson playing at peak level right now, and you now got Mitch Rob. Let's see, how old? You got Mitch Rob right now in the beginning, like the beginning of his prime. You got Mitchell Robinson at the beginning of his prime. What does that mean? That means that this guy who is now, right now, Mitchell Robinson is 25 years old. You're going to have prime Mitch for probably 5 years. Now your time frame for your championship window is open because you got a defensive. That's why they hired a Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau requires, like we talked about Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni requires for his speedball offense a point guard. He requires a point guard. If you don't have a proper point guard, like if you got Chris Duhon, it ain't gonna work. Okay, but if you get Deron Williams, you know, or you get Steve Nash, D'Antoni can show you some things. Okay, but D'Antoni can show you some things, but you bring in a Tom Thibodeau, he requires a rim protector, a rim rudder that put pressure on the rim from the 5 spot. He requires that. They already had that when they had Mitchell Robinson. Now you bring a coach that matches him, and you build around that defense. That's what they've done. Okay? So now you have Mitch Rob in the beginning of his prime, and not quite even in his prime yet. And he's leading the NBA in offensive rebounding. He's definitely, we can begin the defensive player of the year conversation with him. We can begin the all NBA defense with him. He would have been there last year. He didn't play enough games. He only played 59 games. And that's why I believe you see him in the shape he's in now. If he plays 65 games, there's no question. He's on one of the all defensive teams. He's in the running for defensive player of the year. And if he plays 65 games healthy for the Knicks this year, the Knicks are going to be top 3 or 4 in the East. That's how important he is because he's that piece. Okay, so you want to see what this squad got. Will they get beat in the first round? Maybe. Maybe. It can happen. But you got to see. How far can they go? Can they get to the Eastern Conference Finals? It's possible. We got to see how far can they go. See? Because there's different moves that need to be made next summer based on where they go. You don't make your moves now. You don't even think about your moves now. You want to see where they go. If they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's a set of moves you got to think about next summer. If they get beat in the first round or don't make the playoffs, that's a different set of moves you're talking about next summer. Okay? But you got to see what you got. I believe 50 plus wins. You know, if Rich Rob is healthy, top 4 in the East. Okay? Very important. Mitch Rob is the key. I know everybody's thinking Randall. I hear you. No, it's Mitchell Robinson. Mitch Rob, top 4 in the East. Okay? Randall's probably the second most important. And I know people are talking about Brunson. I'm not saying Brunson is not. Brunson is the championship leader you need. But I'm telling you, I got all the confidence in the world in Emmanuel Quickly. I got so much confidence. If Brunson was lost for the year, it would hurt. But I'm telling you, they would not skip a beat with Emmanuel Quickly there. Okay? That's how much I believe in Emmanuel Quickly. They would go straight, continue. You'd have him, you'd have Dante, you still got Deuce. I got belief in them cats. They can still do what they do. Okay? So we good. If RJ got hurt, put Grimes in the 3, start Emmanuel Quickly, start Hart, we rolling. It's still, I'm not saying it wouldn't hurt. It would hurt. Matter of fact, the growth that we've seen in RJ right now to become, this year, he has become Jimmy Butler 2.0. That's big, y'all. That's big. That's better than trading for some big wing all y'all been whining about. No, we got him now. RJ is here. Broadway Barrett then grew up and become the man now. So that is big. I ain't gonna front. So those things can get us as far as ECF or no, but we got to find out. We don't need any trades for any superstar. Okay. Now next summer, it's based on where the kids take us. Suppose the kids take us to the finals. You don't need to be trading for nobody. Somebody gonna beg to come though. And then we got decisions to make. We'll deal with that then. Okay? Suppose, I'm just saying, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm saying, suppose they get to the finals. Then what? Okay? You got to make decisions, but you don't make them now. You want to see what your team looks like. Where did y'all go? How did y'all do? Did RJ Barrett become a superstar now and average 30 in the playoffs? That could happen. But we got to see. Okay? So for now, no moves. Just let this team roll. Mitch Rob is your dude. You don't need no superstar right now. You need championship pieces. And guess what, Knicks Nation? You got them. Enjoy your Veterans Day. Sure.